What's up everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and in this video I'm going to go over how I invest as a college student. I know a lot of college students just don't know how to invest, so I'm going to talk about what platforms I use to invest, what type of things I invest in, and also what are my goals I'm trying to accomplish in college as an investor. I'll give a little background about myself if you haven't seen me before. So I started investing like sophomore year of high school, and I started day trading was the first thing I tried to do. And then I tried to start investing in cryptocurrency. And junior year, I started investing in dividend stocks, and that was kind of the strategy that stuck with me. And for like the last 20 months or so, I've been making monthly updates about what dividend stocks I invest in. That is the main way I invest, but I want to get more specific in this video and talk about the more important areas I invest in and what are better for the majority of college students, and then what are some areas that are less important but could also be good for a lot of other college students. So I'll talk about that more later in the video, but that is the type of investor I am, so you're getting a dividend investor's perspective for this video. I have about 4 different platforms of investing I pay attention to, and I'm going to start off with, in my opinion, the most important one that every college student should start, and that is a Roth IRA. Most college students don't know what a Roth IRA is, and it is a tax advantage account that could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time you want to retire, and it is a huge tool that a lot of people miss out on because they just don't know about it. When you invest money into a Roth IRA, any profit you make on that money, you get taxed at 0%. So if you make $1 million in your Roth IRA, you are not paying any taxes on that money as long as you are taking it out for retirement when you're 59 and a half or older. Roth IRAs are the first place you should be putting your money if you're over the age of 18. I actually started saving money for my Roth IRA before I turned 18 because I really wanted to actually max them out to get the most value from it. So that is what I'm currently trying to do. I have a Roth IRA on M1 Finance, and I play it safe in here. I only invest in ETFs, and this is what most college students should be doing. The only time I would advise you to be picking individual stocks is if you actually enjoy doing that, because most of the time you're not going to beat the S&P 500 ETFs, and most people are better off just picking the ETFs and letting the market naturally make you money. In my Roth IRA, I invest in 4 different ETFs. The first one is Invesco's QQQ. This is an ETF that just tracks the NASDAQ 100. I also have VOO, Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, and I have SCHD, which is Charles Schwab's dividend ETF. These 3 are my favorite 3 ETFs. I made a whole video about them, but I think if you're going to make an ETF portfolio, it should consist of at least these 3 ETFs. And I also have a little bit of JEPI, but I said this before in another video, that 5% that is in JEPI is kind of like my wild card 5% because I do enjoy picking stocks, so I'm going to use that to, like, if I decide I want to buy Apple or something, I have 5% of my Roth IRA to do that. If you look at this chart for my Roth IRA, you can see it kind of looks like a staircase, and that is because I invest the same amount of money every week. And this is called dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging is the best strategy to just spread out your money and not miss any big jumps or dips in the market. You're just evenly investing the same amount of money every week or every 2 weeks or every month. And this is the safest way to invest your money unless you are doing a ton of technical analysis to find the absolute perfect dip in the market to put all your money in. So unless you are doing that, this is the strategy you should be using. And that is what I do for 90% of my investing. Sometimes I like to time it a little bit, but for the most part, I am dollar cost averaging. If you want to open a Roth IRA, I have a video telling you how to step by step, so check that out. Linked in the description. Let's move on to my second method of investing. The second thing I invest in is in my taxable Charles Schwab account, and in this I invest in mostly dividend stocks. Now, the goal behind this account is to have dividend income I can access before I'm 59 and a half years old, because I did mention this before, but when you turn 59 and a half is when you're actually allowed to take the money out of your Roth IRA tax-free. If you try to do it beforehand, you have to pay like a lot of taxes. But this dividend account will snowball and compound into a lot more by the time I'm in like my 30s and 40s, and by starting it now, you don't have to invest as much money to reach a certain goal. So if you're trying to make $5 million by the time you're 60 in a dividend account, you're going to have to contribute more and more each month the longer you wait to start to catch up. So by starting in high school or college, you are saving yourself a lot of money in the future. All I do in my Charles Schwab dividend account is just dollar cost average into my dividend stocks every single week. And I usually dollar cost average into these stocks in my portfolio that are going down. And then when they start going up, I tend to move on to different ones. I usually keep it pretty simple in this portfolio, but I track it a lot and talk about it a lot on this channel, more than the Roth IRA. So if you want to check that out, here's a playlist. Let's move on to the third investment account I do, and this is my Robinhood account where I put in my risky stock investments. The Robinhood portfolio is kind of all over the place. I have some growth stocks in here that I just bought, but I also played with options in this account. I have some videos on that, but this is kind of just for fun. As you can see, there's not a lot of money in it compared to my other two accounts, and every now and then I'll just throw some money into it if I have some extra money lying around. I don't really take this one too seriously, and when I have free time, I'm going to try to play with some options more and try to see if I can just get a lot of price appreciation in this account and money from good trades. And that also brings me to my fourth type of investments, and that is crypto. I haven't really been playing with crypto a lot, but recently I am starting to look into it again, just because of some stuff that's happening in the crypto world. I use Coinbase, and I used to dollar cost average into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and back in like 2021 I would buy like Dogecoin and Cardano, which are like altcoins, but if I'm getting back into it, it would probably be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and just the big ones. I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy, but that is also, I just be throwing like not a lot of money into that. That's not my main focus. That is kind of more for fun and kind of risky. So my main focuses are the Roth IRA and the dividend account, but I also have the Robinhood account and Coinbase account for a little bit of fun and risk because I enjoy doing that. Let's move on to portfolio management. So how do I manage these portfolios? I definitely noticed it being harder in the transition from high school to college because I do have less time, but I also have a lot of free time, but I'm also busy all the time, so it's hard to like put a lot of time into managing these portfolios. So the dividend portfolio and the Roth IRA are very easy. I just do the 4 ETFs in my Roth IRA automatically. Don't change them ever, except maybe that 5% every couple of months. And then the dividend account, I just stick with the dividend stocks I have in it. And if I hear news about another dividend stock, I'll look into that. But right now, I've really only added like 1 or 2 stocks since college started. But yeah, portfolio management for them are pretty easy. Either the automatic money set into the ETFs, or I pick some of the stocks that have gone down a lot recently in my Charles Schwab account and just dollar cost average into those. And then the Robinhood and crypto account, like I said, I don't mess with them too much, especially since I started college. I haven't really added much to them. I think less than $50 total. But if I ever have free time, like a lot of free time, maybe winter break, I'm going to probably start messing around with some options again because I do think it's kind of fun to play around with those. But unless I have a lot of time to like manage my portfolios, pick stocks, do a lot of research on each of the stocks, I'm probably going to keep it very simple, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Investing with a limited budget, because I'm in college, you have a budget and you have to manage your money differently than you did in high school. I started all these accounts in high school or before I got to college, so I actually did at least kind of have these in my budget before I got to school. But I think that's the most valuable thing about starting all these investment accounts is I'm learning to get them into my budget. Pretty much for the rest of my life, I will be budgeting some of my income into investments. And I think if you haven't started investing already and you're trying to learn to budget these things in, you want to start small. Just invest a little bit every week so you get used to it and start trying to increase those contributions more and more and more until you're at like a reasonable level for a college student. To end the video, I want to go over my key takeaways and my mistakes. I've kind of already said a lot of like my takeaways throughout the video. I'm learning to budget investing into my budget, I guess. So I think that's the best part about starting these investments in college and high school. You learn to do that when you're young. Overall, just learning to invest now is a good habit. College is that transition period into like the real world. So starting this now will make it easier to invest consistently once I enter the real world. Then mistakes. I feel like I haven't had too many mistakes except for FOMO and chasing gains. But I feel like everyone who's young and invests has had that problem, especially in the beginning with GameStop and crypto. That wasn't smart investing. I was just putting all my money into GameStop stock or all my money into Dogecoin or Ethereum. It wasn't smart to put all my money into GameStop or all my money into crypto, because once that one asset crashed, I wasn't diversified enough and I just ended up losing all my money. So now I kind of got better at spreading out my money into different ETFs, different stocks, a little bit of crypto too. Overall, I'm learning to build better portfolios, stay diverse, and it is less likely I will lose all my money at once if anything are to happen. It is very important to know that making these mistakes while you're young, while you're in college or high school, is the best time to do it, because one, the amount of money you're investing in the long run is not a lot of money. Obviously at the time, a couple $100 is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that much. And two, you have time to recover. So yeah, I lost some money in the beginning because I didn't know what I was doing investing wise, but I've made it all back, and in 10 years, the money I lost to learn that lesson will be definitely worth it. That's pretty much how I invest in college. That's what I do, what I've learned, what my goals are, what my takeaways are. I think that's pretty much everything for now. I'll definitely make more videos like this throughout college the longer I'm here, if my strategies change, if I do anything differently. But that's pretty much everything so far. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.